call the soul, your body, your mind, is the soul of the vehicle that you're driving, okay? Now, your soul, that's housed usually between your heart chakra and your crown chakra. You might feel that energy within that path. Some people think it's in the third eye, but it moves throughout your body, mostly between the heart and the crown chakra. It doesn't go down below because that's the grounded, that's more the earthy, that's the mundane, that's the human energy per se, okay? So this is what's working for you. If you can see that metaphor, it'll help you understand where you're coming from. Your soul, okay, is the most important voice you have in your head. You have a soul brain and a human brain, okay? Now, your soul brain will never lead you astray, ever. Your soul's purpose, okay? Your soul's purpose was to come into another body in this lifetime, and you chose that, and I'm going to explain that to you in just a moment. Your soul chose to come into this body to overcome at least one challenge to become a better soul for when you get back on the other side, okay? And by becoming a better soul, you become a better person. So our whole main goal in this life is to be a better person, to be happier, to be peaceful, to be kind, to be compassionate, to be understanding, to be gentle, to be loving. And love, L-O-V-E, love is the most powerful tool in the world. There is nothing that's more powerful than love. And then one of the second ones is prayer. Love is the most powerful tool. I want to share a story with you. When I was on the Indian reservation, I spent a lot of time up in South Dakota on Pine Ridge and Rosebud. And I go up there sometimes and I'm doing different types of healing, and I don't charge for that. I just do this on different Indians or different families. And I remember one time I was working with this young girl, a teenager, who happened to be dating or involved with the shaman's son. And a lot of the other Indian girls were angry and jealous, and they really gave her a hard time. And her mother was very concerned and asked me to do some work with her daughter. So I worked with her for about an hour, and I wound up having an audience, unbeknownst to me, because I did all my work with my eyes closed, because I only wanted to really tune in to her total energy field, what was going on, past, present, and future with her. So I didn't know anybody that was coming in and out of the house. At the end of the day, when I finished up and I was back with my boyfriend, he started telling me, well, you know, the shaman's son came in and he got really annoyed because what right do you have to be able to do this? You're not a shaman, you're a white person, blah, 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 blah. And he would walk out. And then he'd come back in and he would see all this stuff that I'm doing and what I'm talking about, and everything was accurate. We got back to the cabin and he said, you know, you're going to have to be really careful because they're going to do spells on you or negative things and curses. And I said, so what? They can't hurt me. He said, what do you mean they can't hurt you? I said, they can't hurt me. I said, because I love them unconditionally. And I said, and I have the most powerful tool. And he said, what? What do you have that's more powerful? I said, love. Because love is the most powerful thing. If you have a problem with somebody and you keep sending them love and light, they will change. Because you're also changing your energy within. And remember, that love is coming from where? Your soul. Your heart, the true essence of your energy from God, because God loves us unconditionally. And I don't care what your description of God is. It doesn't matter to me whether it's the great almighty, Wonka Tonka, or a frog. It doesn't matter to me what you pray to. It's that great energy that keeps us connected to the spirit world. And that's what's important. And by you maintaining that energy of love, always reminding yourself and never putting yourself down. When you say negative words and belittling yourself, oh, I'm so stupid, or I'm this, or I'm that, every time you swallow those words, you add more negativity to your whole essence, your whole being. And you're taking away the love from yourself. You must love yourself before you can love another human being unconditionally. If you love somebody else more than you love yourself, then you are probably a martyr. Because you're the kind of person that may say, well, I gave up this for you. We all know somebody like this. I gave up doing this for you, and I gave up continuing my education. Or mom saying that to a child, or to a husband or a wife or whatever. And the answer is, who asked you? And it's the same thing, it's bringing back. You have to be that flow. So remember that your love is connected to the soul. So what is the difference between the soul and the spirit? Well, the words are synonymous. They mean the same things. It's just in the different energy that they're at. Your soul is now inhabited in an incarnated body. When you are in the discarnate world, without body, if you will, it is referred to as spirit. So in the spirit world is a beautiful place, which, by the way, according to everything I've read, and the meditations and LBLs and all of this, there is no such thing as hell. The only hell we can think of is right here. And it's the hell we create for ourselves through our belief and our actions and our disappointments. Because we can pull ourselves out of every problem when we know that our soul is guiding us. When you are negative, when you are sad, when you are upset, guess what's controlling you? Anybody want to answer?
Fear.
Well, fear is the emotion that's controlling you. But what
Ego.
Essence? The what?
Ego.
Bingo. The ego, and I've read in one book, the ego could be synonymous with, in some cultures, as the devil, in quotes. Not the devil, but the devil, in quotes. Okay? Now, I'm from a Jewish background, and we don't believe in the devil. But I do understand that there's negative energy out there, and I do understand that there's a lot of power. You have to have the balance of the yin and the yang, the positive, the negative, the male and the female, the light and the dark. This is all important. So, here's the magic tool to understanding whether you're getting the right messages or not. Your soul is what's housed in your body. Please have a seat. Your soul is what's housed in your body. And that's what the soul is, more illuminated, it's more aware. The soul means that you can taste food and you can dance and you can listen to music and you can create art and you can be full of fun and laughter. When you're in the spirit world, you're light energy. And you can go to different planets and different universes, but you can't taste food, and you're not really dancing, and you're not smelling things, and you can't physically touch people the same way we do in the physical body. We still, as physical bodies, we can feel this energy that's coming in, and we should, because we have that ability. When we look at the spirit world, it's very gentle and it's beautiful and it's very light. It has no density to it. That's why when I do spirit medium readings, it really gives me so much energy, I'm flying. I'm really light energy. When I do soul-to-soul readings, you know, let me go back one step. Psychic readings is very dense because basically we're reading the person's auric energy and it's very dense and it's very grounded. I don't do psychic readings. I don't think I've ever done a psychic reading because I've always been expansive my whole life. I didn't realize that. I kept saying, I'm not a psychic, I'm not a psychic, and I would deny it all the time. But I always knew stuff because I was picking up, receiving from the universe all the time. And in 2013, I had a spirit guide come to me. And it's a wonderful story. If I had the time, I would tell you. But I had the spirit guide come to me, and he said, the work you are doing is not a psychic. You are doing cell-to-soul work. You are directly connecting with that person's soul energy and receiving. That's why I was never getting negative energy. I was always getting that which what the person you need to hear in the present and the near future about you, about your family, about business, everything, because your soul will always, always give you what you need to know that's going to serve your highest good right now. Your ego will not. How many people have ever asked themselves a question, well, should I do this? And you get a yes or a no, right? Whenever you get a yes or a no answer, you can bet your bottom dollar it's the ego. You can bet on it. Because it's always the ego that wants to keep you mundane, wants to keep you in control. It's the soul that want, remember the ego's more of the human and it's keeping you grounded and it's not making your life more joyful. That's why they refer to it more like the devil, you know, keeping the control. Your soul is light and easy and fun and filled with love and, you know, music moves the soul, and all of this is important. And when you're down, if you're not feeling good, you need to put on music that's going to uplift you. You know, playing the flutes from the Native American, or listening to a violin, or listening to a beautiful piano concerto, or listening to music that's uplifting, something spiritual. New age music, whatever moves you, never anything that's going to bring you down more. Because if you're being brought to those realms, you know it's your ego doing it. So when I started doing all of this work, I asked God in 2007, when I started realizing what I was doing, I said, please God, help me to discern the difference between when I'm getting insight from you and the guardian angels and the spirit guides and the illuminated ones, and whether it's coming from my knowledge, my education, or my ego. Within 24 to 48 hours, I received a definitive answer from God, and I have never questioned it since. I always know which way it's coming from. And when I'm doing a reading and I say, this is coming from my knowledge, I'm a naturopath or whatever, I'm letting the person know right then and there, this isn't psychic stuff, this isn't intuitive stuff, this isn't soul. I'm giving you my grounded information. But it's the love and light of the soul that will always guide you. So, if you want to know the answer to a question to lead you on the right path, you have to ask the right question. So the right question, if you have something pondering you, you're out looking for a job, and you're going on these job interviews, and regardless of how you feel about it, I mean, if you feel really good when you walk out of there, you know, you feel good about the job, you like things about it, you can walk out and you can say, in what way will this position serve my highest good? Is that a yes/no question? No. In what way will this serve my highest good? You will get an answer within a few seconds to maybe maximum 2 days. Sometimes it might go 3 days. You may see a billboard that'll hit you, a piece of music or whatever, but you will feel the change, you will hear something, you will feel something, sense something within you. You will know. If you ask that question and you start to feel kind of queasy and yucky, you know that's not the position for you, even if it felt great. Because that's where your soul telling you there's something wrong with it. Trust your soul, the gut instinct. You know, we talk about the gut instinct, trust the heart. When you want to make decisions about things, very, very, very successful people, and you can define success any way you want, whether it's having a lot of money or having a happy family or owning a lot of items, you know, that are monetary, which are meaningless anyway. But success is what is spelled out for you. You need to pay attention to your higher soul self. And you will not make mistakes. You will not make mistakes. It's when you let that silly little ego come in and you go, no, 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 I told you so, you know. But if you always listen, and it's not necessarily listening with your ears, but listening with your energetic field. Understand, and it can come to you in all different things. It could be someone just coming up to you and shaking your hand, and all of a sudden you get the answer. And if you're getting positive energy from somebody new, that might be somebody new that you need to know, or just someone who's there to give you that positive energy. Another thing is that to help you be attentive to energy, how many times have you been walking through the mall or in a store somewhere, anywhere, and you were feeling good, and then all of a sudden you started to feel crappy, or you felt sick, or you felt uncomfortable? Anybody? Yeah. Somebody walked past you, okay, who was in a bad mood, or feeling sick, or very depressed, and you picked up their energy. Now, what do you do with that energy when you're trying to figure out making a decision about something? Like you're in the, say, a health food store, and you're looking at this product, trying to figure, well, is this product going to be good for me? And you're looking at it. This person walks past you, you can bet your bottom dollar that product is not good for you. So you want to put it down and wait for that energy to clear. And you can clear negative energy from your body by stripping the energy off, you know, getting this negative energy off, and I teach full body stripping. But in the meantime, you can just brush it off. brush that negative energy off that just passed by you, and just, you know, do a little blessing to bring more positive light into you. Then you can go back and figure out, by not thinking brain, the human brain is the ego brain, and that's where you're going to make the decisions. If you're attempting to weigh things out, yes and no, it's okay if you want to make those columns, but I'll tell you, sometimes it's a waste of time, because your soul will already have the answer for you, and you will move more quickly through life. So these very successful people always go with their gut feeling. They don't waste time humming and humming over it. Usually if a person says, well, you know, I need to give that some thought, ponder it and everything, that's a way of excusing, and it's a great excuse for you too, excusing yourself from something you probably don't want to do. It's not in your dimension. Like, say, a family member says, well, you know, you should do this. Or they'll start to give you advice about something. Instead of saying, no, I'm not interested, in getting into that whole negative realm, you say, you know, that sounds like a good idea. Let me ponder that. And you just blow it off if it's not feeling right to you. But it's a good answer. Let me ponder it. Let me consider it. But it doesn't have to be. It's that person, what they would do, what they're telling you what to do, what you should do, is not listen. What you must do is let that resonate with you and discern, how does it feel for you, for your energy, for your decision making. So, here we are, a soul in a body. And the soul is going to enjoy this body as long as it's alive. So your job is to keep this body healthy and happy, so you can become very successful in your life, to be a happier person and overcome the very challenges that you were set here to do. The most important reason you are here is to be a better soul, to be a better person, to help other people. That is our main purpose in life, every single person. We're here to service one another, to make life easier so we have more peace. Because once you get back over there and you're in the spirit world, it's always nice and it's fun, and you can go to different places, and you may go live someplace else some other time. But this is truly the schoolhouse for the soul. It's the hardest place in the universes to live and work and be challenged. And people say, oh my God, I can't take this. I don't ever want to come back. I don't want to do this again. That's your way of saying, I can't deal with this because it's too hard. It's like a child struggling with math or reading. And then you finally find the teacher that can really help the child, and it wakes them up, and they go, oh, I love math, and I love to read, and they devour books, and they want to becoming a mathematician. When you have that opening essence, then it's no longer a challenge that way. It's no longer hard. And that's what happens. You have to recognize you chose, before you came, before your soul entered this body, the process went something like this. Here you are in the spirit world, and your guardians are suggesting it's time that you might want to think about getting back and, you know, fulfilling it. You've been gone 500 years, a couple of thousand years, maybe 20 years, whatever. It's time to make that change again, and what lessons you want to learn. So there you are up there, and you're given the idea. You usually choose about three different bodies that you want to inhabit. You can choose the different areas of the world. We're going to leave it to the number 3 because that's generally the rule, 3 or 4. So you maybe one body you wanted to enter was in England. Another body might have been in Los Angeles, California. Another one might have been in India. And they had different lifestyles. Maybe the person in LA had parents who were able to afford to send you to have all this great musical talent, and you wanted your music to embody you, but you saw yourself as this skinny marine guy, you know, and that really didn't have any friends and all this, but yet you were going to have all these other wealths. And then you saw yourself in India, and you would be very talented in music, but you never could really make it because of the poverty you were going to be living in and what lessons you would be learning from that. And then if you were in Germany, your parents would control you more, but you'd still be learning the music. See, the music is there, but you'd be trying to learn it from a different area. So you choose one of those bodies by seeing literally movie clips in the spirit world of little pieces of what your life is going to be like in that physical body. And then you make the choice as which body you want to come into. When does the soul inhabit the human body? Physically, the soul may kind of leap into the fetus for very brief encounters for the first 6 months. Very rarely, because it's very boring in there. Really boring, okay? The soul will spend more time in there towards the last trimester. but there's nothing for them to do, realistically. There's absolutely nothing. It also gives them the chance to figure out that maybe there's a lesson. Maybe this soul isn't supposed to be born. Maybe that you're going through this, or you be born and you die, within a few days of your birth, because there's a lesson that needs to be learned by the parents, and you agreed as part of a soul trinity, the mother, the father, and them, that you were going to be part of their teaching experience, so they could learn to have that loss of a baby, because maybe they were abusive to a child in a past life, or maybe they were harmful to somebody else. We all make these choices to help one another. It's never just about our soul. So we work together and we choose, the parents say, okay, I'm going to be your mother and I'm going to make it really hard on you. And I'm going to be your father and I'm going to help to support you on this. And a sister will come in or a friend will come in, and each person plays a part amongst their own lessons that they have. So you have this trinity. So that's why sometimes if you have problems with family members, they chose that. But at some point you have to start learning, part of your lesson is to learn to accept that soul. Accept the soul. You don't have to like the person, but accept the soul. When I would say to people, I love you unconditionally, and I love you unconditionally, there isn't anything in the world you can say or do that's going to make me stop loving each and every one of you unconditionally. I may not like what you say or do. I may not agree with you. I love you, the essence of your soul. And I remember saying this to my uncle one time, and he said, you don't love everybody, you don't love Adolf Hitler. I said, no, I don't love the man, I love the soul. There's a difference. Which, by the way, certain souls, such like Adolf Hitler, Mussolini, and people like that, when they wind up back in the spirit world, they don't go to hell. They're basically, the soul is eliminated. It's just gone, because there's nothing that they can do to fix. Someone who might have been a mass murderer, that soul can be fixed, okay? Because something went astray, something happened, there might have been drugs, and there might have been something else that went wrong, okay? Because as soon as you cross over from the soul to the spirit, when you cross over to that energy, you meet up with your spirit guides, and you meet in front of the council, and everything is with love and light. Nothing is belittling and demeaning to you. In every single book, everything I've read, everything I've meditated on, all the different trainings, it's all out there. In fact, Dr. Newton did a bunch of research on it. And there's just a lot of information, and there are great books out there that you could read if you wanted to know more about this. It is the time for you to recognize where your mistakes were and what you can do to improve upon them. And that's why when I do spirit mediumship readings, a lot of times people will come back and ask for forgiveness and so forth. The whole idea is do as much forgiveness as you can in this life. Do you know that most heart attacks are derivative of heart aches, heart problems, relationship problems? Stop holding grudges that doesn't serve your highest good. And that should be your ultimate question to yourself all the time when you want to be in the know. In what way does this serve my highest good? Or is this serving the highest good of all parties concerned? My mother, my father, myself, my brother, my friend, my husband, is it serving everybody's highest good? By not being mean and castrating and negative and so forth. Because whenever we are negative to ourselves or other people, we are always putting more of that negativity on ourselves. You say negative things about anybody, you're digesting all of those words and you're bringing that negative energy in. And your soul doesn't like that, but the ego does. Your ego will never serve your highest good. So you are a soul. Your soul, that's what you are. You're a soul living in a human body. And when your body expires, because that's what we're going to do. The body expires, and then you go back to the spirit world. You hang out there for who knows how long, and then you get born back into another body, be it animal, human, insect, another creature on another universe, another planet, whatever is the choice. Because it's endless out there. You have that ability, and everything, if you leave everything to the soul, and really, really listen. And the key to this is meditation, 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 meditation. And it doesn't mean you have to sit on the floor and go, There's walking meditation. People that fish, it's a form of meditation. Just letting go of all the outside thoughts and clearing your head so you can be able to open your mind up to that which is going to serve your highest good, to be healthier and happier and more aware of what's so important in your life at this time, so you have a richer life. Any questions so far? Okay. Following your soul's path is something we start to do usually the first 5 years of our life. We're brilliant. We don't have any fears, unless somebody gives us the idea of the boogeyman and stuff. The children don't make these things up. Now we have to leave one excerpt out of here. There are things that children can see that adults can't see, because the children are crispy clear crystals that can see everything and feel everything, because they haven't been diluted or, what's the word I'm looking for, filled with garbage and negative ideas. If you have constant loving, enlightened parents that are very understanding and open and receiving and so forth, you won't be the type of child that grows up with the fears and having negative thoughts and so forth. You can see the difference within families, how different children respond and how they're raised, okay? It's all about the love and the compassion and understanding. So children are light beings, and they're very intuitive, and they're very psychic, and they're very aware. They're my favorite people. I mean, usually if I'm in a grade where there are adults and children, I'll generate to the children, because I love spending time with them. Then I might meet the adults, because they're wonderful light beings, and they're very intuitive, and you can learn a lot from children. You'd be surprised if you have a question about something, the wisdom that's going to come out of a 5-year-old's mouth telling you how to do something or what to do, because they are not damaged from all the stuff that adults put on them. And, you know, if you want to have a cleaner, crisper soul intake, you want to get rid of the external stimulation. How much external stimulation did they have pre-biblical? Or even in the 1700s, or in the 1800s? We didn't deal with external stimulation until we had Morse code, radio, television, computers. That infiltrates our way of thinking and can damage the way we make our decisions in life. Because we go to bed every night with having watched a movie or television or done stuff on the computer, and we take that all to bed with us. Is it any wonder you can't figure out your dreams? You've got all this, who are those people in my dream? You know, what were they trying to tell me? What's going on? That's why it's really important, if you really want to be more in tune, and I also do a program on becoming more psychic. Every single person in the world is psychic. They're telepathic. It is our God-given gift to be that way. If you say you're not, it's because you're not listening, you're not seeing, you're not feeling, you're not allowing yourself to believe that you have this ability. We all do. You have to just quiet down your mind, spend some time in nature, go hug a tree, you know, meditate, do yoga or tai chi or stretching to get your body loosened up, go get massages, go do things that are going to free you from being locked up. You know, if you're feeling tension anywhere in your body, that's telling you that you've got blocked chi, blocked energy, and it needs to be released. And you want to be able to be more free. Go for a run, go for a fast walk, anything, whatever works for each of you, so you can start tuning in more and more and more and listen. Go with that direction and know that your soul takes you there. There's a wonderful book that I would recommend to read first if you want to understand more about the people in your life and why bad things happen to good people. Bad things don't happen to good people. Bad things happen to good people, quote, because that good person's soul decided that they wanted that lesson before they came into this incarnated body. A man winds up having an accident. There's one incident, I think, in one of the books where he dives in the pool and he winds up becoming a quadriplegic. And the family's all devastated. He at first he's upset, but then he gets on with it. And there's lessons to be learned. He chose that lesson in this life for everybody to learn from. You don't need to feel sorry. Be kind, be generous, be loving. But you don't have to, most people don't want pity. There are people that love to have pity. I know those people. I've known them. I've had patients. Oh, we have a pity party once a month. I go, you do what? Oh my gosh, why don't you have a celebration party about life and being happy? Seriously, I used to have a patient that told me once a month she and her friends would have a pity party. I can't imagine it. I would much rather be celebrating life than woeing my sorrows and feeding that negative energy, which is going to make you more dense. You don't want to be dense. You want to be grounded. You want to be light. You want to be the light energy and love, so when someone hugs you or feels your energy, they want to be close to you. You want to smile at every single stranger you see. You want to get a smile back from them, because you may make their day by smiling at them. And sometimes it's hard when you're not in a good space. You just kind of want to be invisible, you know? You don't want anybody to see you. You just kind of want to not deal with the world. But every time we do that, we're hiding from ourselves. There's something that we're not happy with that we need to face. It's like go in the mirror, look at yourself and say, okay, what the heck's going on here, you know? And, you know, okay, tell me, what do I need to do? Be open to listen to your soul, and you will never make mistakes, ever. Whereas the ego will always guide you in the wrong direction. So, there's a book called Your Soul's Plan. It's a wonderful book, and I would recommend reading that book first, and then you can read The Soul's Gift after that. And it'll go into some of those directions on how people make a plan before they come into this incarnated body. And the beautiful thing about reading that book is at the end of each chapter, the author, Schwartz, does, he's hired some people from that he knows on the East Coast that actually does a communication, you know, intuitively with the spirit guides and with that person's soul, okay, as to what the plan was with each of the people in his life. So it'll really open you up. And even though I didn't know anybody from any of those aspects of the stories, it was a huge awakening and aha moment. It will resonate, and you'll understand yourself, and you will understand people more, and you'll have even a bigger heart. So I do recommend those books as a starting point if you want to understand why the soul does what it does, and how you can have more compassion and understanding for other people in your life. It's very important. Your soul is the essence of your direction in this lifetime. And if you don't get it right, if you commit suicide, if you do bad things, you're going to have to come back and do it again. And I don't know about you, but I remember saying when I was a child, I want to go home, I want to go home. And then by the time I hit my 20s and 30s, it said, all right, I've had enough. I want to go. I want to go. And I wasn't suicidal. I just wanted to be back there. You know, I wanted to be in that light energy. And it took me a while to realize, yeah, but if you get through this life and you do what you're supposed to do, it's going to be easier. And you're going to feel more celebrated when you're on the other side. Be happy, go with grace, go with love, go with peace. Namaste.